What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a fantastic day. This is the Info Junkies podcast. I'm Steve. This is my co-host,
Daquan.
And we're just two guys from Maryland who enjoy collecting information and talking about topics. Any topic, anytime, anywhere, any place. Be it sports, politics, entertainment, science, you name it, we'll talk about it.
We're just excited to really get this thing started. We have a lot of information for you guys. We just hope you enjoy.
Here we go. We have 4 topics. Topic number 1. Today is September 19th, 2017. Unless you've been hiding under a rock, then you know Donald Trump is president of the United States. So
under a rock.
Today, Donald Trump addressed the UN, the United Nations. He was talking about multiple issues, but mainly he was talking about North Korea. He had this very hilarious and awesome quote that everyone's using in their titles of their articles.
What's the quote?
He said, "Rocket Man is on a suicide mission." He called Kim Jong-un Rocket Man. That's awesome.
Rocket Man. Rocket Man. Rocket Man.
So, I mean, I think everybody can agree that Kim Jong-un is just a bucket of balls. He's crazy.
I mean, honestly, to be honest, every 2 seconds on the news, you hear him talking about we want to blow something up. He's always shooting missiles somewhere. So, I mean, Rocket Man is very fitting.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't seem. It seems like it doesn't matter. Like whatever we do, whatever the world does, it always seems like it doesn't matter because he's just gonna make missiles and shoot them. I mean,
remember that showed you the dude? He was like, that dude just need to. Maybe just jealous or something. Maybe just, we can't say this on the airways.
I mean, it just you got to ask yourself at some point. Okay, what's your motivation? Okay,
but I don't understand though. If we go to war with them, because basically what it seems like, he's trying to push war. Basically,
yeah.
If we do that, we basically going to be U.S. versus North Korea thing. We just crush them. I mean, they don't have.
Well, yeah.
Their army just starve.
Well, I mean, their army. I mean. Yeah, they quote unquote have the 4th largest army in the world.
Yeah, but they don't.
But I mean, the last time the United States went up against the 4th largest army in the world, it was Iraq, and we rode over them in like what, a month, 2 months. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even close.
That was fast.
I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, we rode over them twice. Both the Bushes, both Bushes rode over them twice. I mean, they both crushed them.
And yeah, I knew the first time. Second time I didn't.
Yeah, Daddy Bush in the 90s, because they, Iraq invaded Kuwait. And, Daddy Bush was like, no, we ain't having that. So we invaded, we attacked, we fended off Iraq. Mm-hmm. So we beat them that time. And then in 2003, I think it was, then we started the Iraq War. So we rode over their army, we rode over their army twice. So, and Iraq was, for all intents and purposes, was in a much better status than North Korea is. I mean, come on, half their people are starving.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't eat, so
yeah, I mean, that was a crazy war, famines and stuff. I mean, it's like, I mean, if we were to go to war with them, I mean, legit, we wouldn't even have to fight them. I mean, all we have to do is like bring Chick-fil-A and Burger King,
and all their soldiers would
and half of them would defect. Like, dude, what is this? You have pizza? What's pizza?
Food.
Yeah.
Food.
Bring Kool-Aid and pizza, and I mean, and half the army's gonna defect. So I mean, that it doesn't make sense for them.
You think it's going to be a war, or?
I think eventually it will, because I don't think Kim Jong-un is going to. I think he's crazy. His dad was Kim Jong-il was crazy. Kim Il-sung was crazy, but this guy is
another level. Really
crazy. I mean, and what gets me is they thought this guy was going to be like the guy we could deal with because he was educated, in the West. They thought this guy was going to be the one that we could deal with, but.
Well, I forgot the article, but I was reading something, and according, I think the article says that basically his own people is basically trying to kill him. Like, they're trying to find a way to.
Like, I remember a few years back, he disappeared. Like, his sister was running the country. Like, he disappeared for like months.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so, I mean, he was gone. Like, I was reading the article. It's like, nobody knew where he was.
Wow.
So, I mean, and like I said, man, this guy's crazy. I mean, he comes into office and then he makes laws about haircuts.
I saw a video, right? It was North Korea and South Korea. Like, this person, he's like a tourist type of thing. He travels all around the world and he visits places, all that stuff like that. He went to North Korea for like a few weeks, and then went to South Korea for a few weeks to try to compare the difference between like the culture and all that stuff. It was crazy. South Korea was basically like this like culture where like everybody can talk, and it's very social. Everybody's outside riding their bikes. It's very friendly type of environment. But then you go to North Korea. It's so many regulations and strict, like everything. The tourists, like you said, you can't go over here, you can't look. North Korea wanted you to see what they wanted you to see.
Right, exactly.
Instead of showing you the real stuff behind the scenes. Whereas South Korea was the complete opposite, where they showing you everything. Like, this is who we are, and they embraced it.
Right, they have freedom.
Yeah, North Korea is basically the complete opposite of South Korea.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can't even... I was watching a documentary, this is from when Kim Jong-il, his dad, was in office. You can't even, like, if you film, like, if you're touring North Korea and you film, and let's just say there's a picture or like a statue of the premier, Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un, you can't like film it halfway. Like let's just say, behind you there's a picture of George Bush, like, and you like happen to just like catch or Donald Trump, you happen to like just catch the side. Like in North Korea, you can't just catch the side. You have to have the whole thing in the picture. Like you can't.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And like I said, he comes in and then he makes it so like there's only certain haircuts that men can have. I think it's like 19 haircuts for men. I think it was like 17 haircuts for women or something like that.
When you
and you can't have his haircut. I mean, I
crazy.
don't know why you would want his haircut because he looks stupid. He looks like he kind of looks like Bert from Bert and Ernie. I mean, he looks crazy. But I mean,
hey, I remember the video was like. If he gets any girls at all, it's like forced.
I know, he's like
by force,
and that's you gather that from him, because he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that anybody. I mean, if he was here in the United States, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that women are fawning all over and trying to.
But like the whole culture though is forced. Everything's forced.
You can't. You have no choice.
Yeah, I can't.
So
in fact, I don't know how he stayed there for 2 weeks. I would kill myself.
I probably would too.
For 2 weeks. Like, he was in North Korea for 2 weeks. And I think they had to go to a statue, about his statue or something, about a certain time. Literally, everybody was at this statue, and everybody was bowing down. And at first he said he wanted to stand up, because like, who am I going to sit there and just bow down to this guy?
Right.
He had to, or he was going to get...
Yeah, you're going to go to jail. Yeah. I mean, they're going to put you in a concentration camp. So I mean, now, the... Trump's speech at the UN didn't just entail North Korea. He talked about Iran, the Iran nuclear deal. I think he talked about how they he said according to CNN, he said the Iranian government masks a corrupt dictatorship behind the false guise of a democracy. I agree with that. They've violated the Iran nuclear deal that Obama put in place.
This is Iran.
This is Iran, yeah. So I mean, not much to me. Not much to say there. I mean, I think he's pretty much right about them. He talked about Venezuela. Venezuela is another socialist country that's falling apart right now. Their leader, Nicolas Maduro, he's been, putting the people through some really bad things. I mean, they're over there starving. Their country's collapsing. They have more natural resources than we do, and yet they're one of the poorest countries right now. I mean, their people can't find food for nothing.
Again, I don't know. I'm just glad I'm over here.
yeah,
Long story short, I'm just glad I'm over here.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm surprised they didn't have nothing to say about Trump's speech. Because normally everything he says gets scrutinized, even if it's a good thing. I'm
quite sure they are scrutinizing. I mean, I'm just picking and choosing certain things, but I'm quite sure they're scrutinizing everything.
The dude can't win, just like the hurricane.
He really can't.
He went down to Texas and it was just going on his wife because she had heels on.
Yeah,
it's like irrelevant. She's there. The fact that she's there should make it good enough, but yet they still find something to scrutinize and make it blow it up.
Well, yeah, if it wasn't her heels, it was the fact that she wore a FLOTUS, First Lady of the United States hat. I mean, if it's not that, it's the fact that Trump wears the wrong color tie. I mean, if it's not that, it's
that's crazy.
He kissed the wrong color, baby. I mean, it's just no matter what, they're gonna find something to critique him on. I mean, he handled the hurricanes. They handled the hurricane stuff really well, and yet...
What else can he do?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, for real, there's nothing else for him to do. But regardless, they're just going to find something to critique him on. I mean, I mean, that's not me saying that he shouldn't be critiqued. I mean, I critique him. I mean, full disclosure, I voted for him. But I mean, all the viewers are gone. But no, I mean, but you know, people like me, our vote for him had less to do with him and more to do with the fact that we didn't like the other side. You know, but you know, just because, you know, I'm not saying don't critique him, but that doesn't mean critique him on every little thing he does. I mean, everything he does isn't bad.
Like him going to give him vanilla ice cream. Why is that in the news?
I mean, why should anyone care what kind of ice cream he gets? Vanilla ice cream is probably the most common flavor out there.
But yeah, that's
wrong. So what is he supposed to get? Chocolate? I mean, if he gets chocolate, is that racist? Is he appropriating chocolate culture? I mean, what is he?
So I mean, it's crazy. Which ties into our next conversation.
Which does tie into our next conversation. Speaking of the opposition, Hilary gives Americans 47,897 reasons why she didn't
47 million.
No, but this, according to Fox News opinion page, according to his man Greg Jarrett, Hilary gives Americans 56 and counting incredible reasons why she didn't win.
It's September 19th, and she's still just yapping.
Yeah, the election is almost a year ago, and you're still making up reasons why you didn't win.
She's butthurt.
Talk about a sore loser.
That is butthurt.
That's
the definition of being butthurt.
I don't remember any person who lost an election, especially not a presidential election. I mean, if you lose a senatorial election, a Congress election, a mayoral election, a gubernatorial or governor's election, you could lose all those. I mean, I can kind of see you hanging around a little bit. But I mean, you lost the election of elections. I mean,
right.
You couldn't become president. Despite how quote-unquote popular you were, despite winning the quote-unquote popular vote, you know, you didn't win. So why are you still hanging around?
I don't know. She's just messing up her image, to be honest.
I think it's not even just her messing up her image. I mean, her image, she's a Clinton. I mean, you either love him or hate him. There's no in between. I mean...
But just own up to your loss. If you lost, just, okay, look, I lost.
Yeah, I mean...
Don't keep making excuses, and you're always in the headlines every other week saying about crying.
I mean, go back to the elections. I mean, shoot, you can go back pretty far, but I'll just go back to 2000. You know, Al Gore, John Kerry, John McCain, Mitt Romney. None of them hung around after they lost. Why? Because they realized I lost. So if I hang around, I'm just going to drag my party down.
Just own up to it. Embrace it. Embrace your loss.
Embrace your loss and move on. Hey, I lost. I couldn't win. I thought I could win and I couldn't.
That's how people respect you more. Just embrace it. Own up to it.
But she is so egotistical. She just can't. I mean, I think she literally wakes up every single morning, looks in the mirror, and says, "I can't believe you lost to Donald Trump." I mean, I can't believe she lost to Donald Trump either, considering that he was probably the least most favorite candidate.
I thought he wasn't
in history.
I thought he wasn't gonna win at all.
But I mean, then again, she was the second least favorite, so it's not like, you know, it's not like she was extremely popular and he wasn't.
Right.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, when you look at Donald Trump's polling throughout the campaign, he kind of stayed around like 43, 44%. She fluctuated from like 37 to like 55. So I mean, how do you gauge that?
Right.
I mean, he was more consistent, whereas she kept going up and down. I mean, now granted, she had more to go up and down on because, you know, you had the FBI investigation into her.
But that was her own fault.
Well, I mean, she made that choice.
That is completely her own fault. The stuff that stuff got leaked, you shouldn't have done that in the first place. You knew it was illegal. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm honestly surprised that she got as many votes as she did, considering
she should be in jail anyway.
When you look at, especially like when you look at the DNC, like WikiLeaks, they hacked. It was either WikiLeaks or the Russians. One of them hacked the DNC, the Democrats, and they uncovered their emails. I mean, there was so much racist stuff in there. I mean, they were talking all kind of crap about Bernie Sanders, you know, about him being a Jew and stuff like that. And
wow.
I mean, the fact that, you know, she still got as many votes as she did, with them saying all the stuff they said, that's crazy. That's crazy. But it just goes to show you, most people in this country are party motivated and not principle motivated. Because if you're principle motivated and you see that, but then again, if you're principle motivated, you don't necessarily vote for Donald Trump because some of the stuff he did.
But you got to pick a poison.
You do. I mean,
I would gladly pick my poison with him than Hillary, because Hillary was basically saying she wanted to fight with Russia, basically. Like,
yeah, she said she wanted to go to war. I'm like,
nah.
And I'm like, and that's what I don't get about all these guys who kept saying Donald Trump is literally Hitler. Well, number one, Hitler was a fascist. And if Trump was a fascist, you wouldn't be able to call him fascist. I mean, that's what fascism is.
How was Trump a dictator?
That's what I'm saying. He was
how in the world is he a dictator? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, that I don't get.
Hitler slaughtered millions.
Yeah. Donald Trump literally has barely killed anyone. I mean, you got the missile strikes he did in Afghanistan and what was it, Iraq?
Yeah, I believe so.
But those are targeted strikes for known terrorist areas. I mean,
those make sense,
right? Those make sense. I mean, Hitler literally. I mean, I hate to put it this way, because Hitler literally easy baked 6 million Jews.
Easy baked.
I mean, I mean, he was evil. I mean, you can't compare Trump to Hitler. I mean, you really can't. You know.
That's funny, yo. That's funny.
You know, I don't understand why people.
Because they butthurt. That's a very simple premise. They're butthurt that they lost.
Yeah. And
they still can't get over it, which is why, here you go, a year later, we're still talking about this.
Right, exactly. Like 47 reasons, 4,700 reasons, 4 billion reasons. There's only one reason you need to know about. You didn't do good enough or well enough, whatever the word is. You couldn't do it.
It was her fault.
Yes, it was your fault. You ran a terrible campaign. You had no message. You alienated part of your base by attacking Bernie Sanders people. Then you alienate Trump supporters who weren't going to vote for you anyway. But you alienate a whole section of the country by calling them deplorables.
Yeah, why would you go get your own party?
You're destroying the people you need to vote for you. That's like in 2012 when Mitt Romney said that 47%, he knew 47% of the people weren't going to vote for him. They don't even pay taxes.
Right.
Or something like that he said. Well, that kind of killed his hopes, because it's like, okay, you're bashing half of the country. I mean,
yeah.
You're not going to win a majority by bashing half the country.
But you got to own your own party. Why would you go get your own party?
Why would you go after your own party? I mean, I'm
a Democrat, so I'm going to just bash Democrats.
That's what I'm saying. If I were Hillary, which thank God I'm not, but if I were Hillary, the first thing I would have done after winning would pull Bernie Sanders in and find out, okay, what exactly can I gain from him and pull Joe Biden, pull some of these people in and say, look, what can I gain from you, from your perspective areas of the party where we can get a unified front? Because there were a lot of Bernie Sanders people who voted for Donald Trump simply for the fact that they couldn't stand Hillary as an establishment candidate.
Just for clarification's sake, I think the article says 46 reasons or something like that. Right?
I think it's 50. 50. I think it's 56.
56?
56.
We're clearly exaggerating the amount of...
Clearly exaggerating.
But basically, you get our point.
But the thing is, it started out at 5. Then it's like, you can look at all the other sites. They got like 16. And they got all these other... And then this guy says 56. I mean,
it's basically 2 million.
Right. The reasons for her losing keep going up, and yet she still won't focus on herself. She won't... Or
the Russians hacked the election.
Right.
Or the FBI did.
Which, first of all, the Russians hacking the election is impossible. I mean, it's impossible for them to hack.
Well, I heard that was legit.
No, they influenced the election. Hacking the election is impossible because the way that most states still use paper ballots. How do you hack a paper ballot?
True.
You know, so they did try to influence our election. I mean, that's proven. I mean, they did. I mean, they bought ads and stuff on Facebook to try to influence the election. So I mean, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, they did try to influence our election,
but they didn't hack it.
But
in a sense,
define hack. I mean,
true.
That's what I'm saying. What do you when they say the Russians hacked? What do you mean they hacked? What did they hack?
Highly influenced.
That's what I'm saying. Influence, yes. I mean, does it upset me that they did that?
The votes in one particular.
Yeah, sure. Does it upset me that they did that? Yeah. Do I think it's a little bit of our chickens coming home to roost? Yeah, because we've tried to influence elections for decades. I mean, we influenced elections in Israel twice. So,
but stuff like that is not publicized though. Not a lot of people.
well, yeah, because it's the Democrats mostly doing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't mean to bash them, but I mean,
No, you did. You did.
but I mean, when you look at when like for instance, just to take the two examples I'm talking about, in the 90s, Bill Clinton literally sent his people to influence the election against Benjamin Netanyahu. That's how they got him out the first time. That's how they got Ehud Barak in there. That's how they got Ehud Barak to almost give up all of the land that they got in the 6-Day War and in the Yom Kippur War. That's how they almost got that, because they influenced that election. Obama tried to do it in 2014. It's just the country wasn't in the same position
As it is now.
as it was. Well, yeah, it wasn't in the same position then as it was in the 90s. So he couldn't get Netanyahu out.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't like Netanyahu because Netanyahu's a strong Zionist, we want to hold on to our land kind of leader. I mean, he's not trying to give up any more land than they've already given up.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2005, when George Bush supported the then Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, he gave up Gaza to the Palestinians. Israelis say that that was one of the biggest mistakes. So that's one of the reasons Netanyahu was like, well, look, we gave up land the last time when they failed.
All right.
But so you think us giving up land this time is going to be successful? I mean, they already gave Sinai back to the Egyptians. They gave Gaza to the Palestinians. So I mean, and yet everybody still wants to blow Israel up. So I mean, how much more land do you think giving up is going to make them not want to blow you up?
I mean, if the U.S. influenced a whole bunch of elections out, like you say Israel and all that stuff, then basically what Russia did to our election is nothing new.
Right.
It's the same story.
I mean, this is what gets me about the. I'm not a
Get it out.
relativism kind of guy. Like everything's relative. But some of these indignant people who, like, for instance, like with that, the Democrats are all upset about the Russians influencing our elections, but we influence other people's elections. Just like when Donald Trump was running, and all his people were like, well, the Chinese are manipulating their currency. We manipulate our currency.
Yep.
What do people think quantitative easing is? Printing more money than you have backing for. That's manipulating your currency.
But a lot of people, it's just ignorance. They don't know.
Right.
So they just
because a lot of people are what we call low information voters. It's all about slogans and energy. And
like when Obama ran, they just voted him because he's black. A lot of people just voted
because his
so
slogan, hope and change.
That really pissed me off because that's so much ignorance in that. He's black, so I'm just vote for him.
I mean, it's black and
it's not based on what he believes in or nothing. Just what he's gonna do for the country, how it's gonna benefit you or nothing. Just simply because he's black, you're gonna vote for him. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, like I have all kind of respect for my grandfather. My grandfather is a Democrat, and he told me and my dad, he said, hey, look, if Obama was a Republican and the Democrat was white, he still vote Democrat simply because he's a Democrat. Yeah. So I mean, I think it should be more. It needs to be based on policy instead of skin color.
That's ignorance. That's crazy.
It's straight up ignorance.
I'm gonna vote for Obama because he's black. I'm gonna vote for Trump because he's white. I'm gonna vote for this because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's straight up ignorance.
It should be based on his principles, what he believe in, or what you don't believe in, whatever the case is, whether or not you should vote or not. It shouldn't be just okay. He's black, so I'm just vote. That's terrible.
Yeah,
and you wonder why our country is where it is now.
Yeah. That's because everybody's focused on exterior rather than policy. I mean, politics is all about policy. It should be anyway. But we've made it all about
it's not
exterior. We've made it all about like during the election, during the Republican primaries, everybody was like, well, Ted Cruz looks like a used car salesman. So he looks sneaky, basically what they're saying. But if you're a conservative, Ted Cruz policies are what you want. He's the closest thing to Reagan, our generation that we'll ever see.
Right.
So, is it about looks or is it about what he wants to do? It should be about what he's saying he's going to do.
But it's not that.
And it's not. Once again, it was all about Donald Trump because Donald Trump was a reality TV star, and he's all about marketing, and he knew how to market himself. So
I like Trump from the business perspective. Everything else, no. Pretty much.